Howdy everyone, Runt9 here and welcome back to Runt9 Plays Nova Drift. Our last run, charge rail, 1.1 million. Should have gone farther, but as we learned, stop at 4 twin strikes. We did end up circling back around and having a positive or a negative projectile spread, but actually ended up being bad just because it was so much of a loss on shield cooldown and recovery. It was nuking essence sap, it was nuking our ability to stay alive, and when we got crashed into by a double champion wave, it just ended up being bad. But how about we go for an A10 run? I haven't done an A10 run in a while. What's the A10 run, you might ask? Well, it's split shot plus barrage. Very standard, very typical. I honestly think that I'm going to want to go rapid recon plus essence sap and just go all in on hull mods. So we're going to decline gear swap here, go straight for the body. I mean, assault is just so good with barrage. Is it spicy? Oh yeah, it's super spicy. Like we're very high on the Scovilles by taking assault and then saying that we're going to drop our shields. But you know what? It's the way that I like to play it, and assault isn't bad so as long as you do properly focus on your survivability. I'm not going to do any, siege weaponry garbage, adding that into the mix. We're just going to get to barrage and go from there. So magnitude plus splinter. Yeah, splinter lowers rate of fire. That's fine. It's still a big pickup from an AoE perspective. You're going to want targeting, but let's get into rapid recon sooner rather than later. And yes, I'm going to keep saying sooner rather than later. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, I don't like it either. I wish that I would stop saying it, but it's so applicable to so many different situations. Oh, these guys are so frustrating early on before your split shot actually starts doing decent damage. Got a couple upgrades stockpiled. How about we take a look at those? I mean, an early adrenal module is really nice to have. We need to get into skirmish as well, since skirmish is going to give us terminate. Terminate's an important one. Makes us basically have to do 12% less damage to kill something. And 12% less damage to kill something ends up being a huge overall benefit as the game goes by. Making sure that we keep our maneuverability up. I believe that barrage is going to end up reducing our thrust. So our reserves is probably going to be a good pickup as well. But definitely hull strength and plating. And like I said, focusing on survivability early on a rapid reconstruction plus... Get out of there. Rapid reconstruction plus essence sap run. Maybe we went rapid reconstruction a little early, but we do need to get some more damage going because we're having trouble killing this champion chomper. Get out of there. I should be using his laser soon. There's terminate. That's going to help get these guys out of here finally. Oh, that was a bunch of bad laser damage. Just hit them until they're dead. That's all you got to do is just hit them till they're dead. It's starting out very slow. That comet, like, legitimately is one of the best comets I've ever had. Thank you very much. I mean, honestly, I'm going to take an early obsession because twin strikes and burst fires add a lot to barrage. Even though there was an essence sap for us. I'm going to grab Juggernaut. Yeah, I thought I accidentally grabbed drones. Definitely going to grab Juggernaut because max hull is very important and it increases the overall regen rate. So let's start working on rate of fire and volley so that we can get to barrage. Because that's kind of the whole point of the build. Why do I call it an A10 build? Well, because the sound of an A10 Vulcan cannon is one of the most ASMR sounds in the world. And you love it. And by you, I mean me. And funny enough, the barrage with split shot in this game sounds vaguely like an A10 firing. And so I call it an A10 build. Projectile velocity does end up helping a lot because it makes our projectiles go farther, especially since we will end up wanting to take some projectile targeting stuff. and that lowers rate of fire, or lowers velocity by quite a bit. So it kind of counterbalances that out. Because we will end up wanting to add projectile targeting into the mix. It is a big deal. Did we pick up Terminate before this? We do have Terminate, so that'll deal with some of the big O problems quite a lot. Or quite easily, I should say. So we're gonna just slide right on in here. Don't stop firing though. I usually like having barrage before we get here, but you know, it's not a huge deal. We'll go ahead and grab volley. It does end up being a DPS decrease at the moment. But all right, we got to get out of here though. Now we just kind of have to fire off from the sides. Make sure to kill the ads. Their projectiles do end up doing a bit more damage than you kind of realize. There's some XP down here. So now we have to deal with trying to kill these with the lingering projectiles from the second phase. All right, now just terminate, kill him, please. Thank you. So our damage is obviously not great yet because we need to get projectile size up. And we do need to get to barrage. There is burst fire, which burst fire isn't really great, but it ends up being kind of an odd DPS increase, so as long as you aim it correctly. That's a baby jug. This is going to be a very, very lengthy fight against this this baby juggernaut. And by very long, I mean very long and very frustrating. So I said in the last episode I wanted to do more rapid reconstruction builds. I am still going to use Essence Sap because like Essence Sap is incredibly good when paired with Barrage. But I did at least go rapid reconstruction, so I'm not doing the same, you know, Gemini protocol setup that I pretty much always do on serious runs these days. Yeah, like I said, it's going to be forever to kill this dude. And unfortunately, the health bar isn't showing up at the top, so I have no idea where we're at either. I'm trying to stay in close. It gives us less time to react. Oh, and of course, the comet comes in at the last second. All right, there's focus fire, and that's everything we need to get to barrage. So the next upgrade, barrage, will hopefully be available, and I will probably just reroll until we get it. Because we do have a bunch of rerolls. Actually, you know what? There's Essence Sap. Essence Sap is a good pickup as well. Yeah, Focus Fire does help a lot in this intermediate stage. Then it's basically just like, come on, give me barrage as quickly as possible, please. We do not have plating, so this is bad for us. Dodge as much as possible. But Essence Sap plus Rapid Reconstruction plus a bunch of hull increases is surprisingly good. Honestly, we are going to end up wanting payload, just not right this second. There's barrage. All right, now we can start ticking. I don't think the sound up is up loud enough for you guys to hear the A10 sound, unfortunately. So we'll have to turn the sound up before next time. Realize that it is actually kind of low in the mix. Warp Strike can be beneficial on a barrage run, but for the most part, you're not going to have the projectile velocity to support it, especially considering we don't have any of the targeting mods yet. But this is why I love Split Shot with Barrage. It's just a hemorrhage of projectiles. It's super pretty. And I mean, like, if I haven't talked about it in a while, the visuals in this game are just so good. They're minimalistic, but they're clean. They're very, very clean. Like, it's not pixel art. It's just... It's not low resolution. Like, it's high resolution stuff. It's just very minimalist. So projectile targeting is good stuff. And we got to get out of here and head around to the other side. This is where you just kind of circle around, let Barrage do what it does. Now, we don't have a lot of additional damage, so it's not like we're doing tons of stuff. We want firing array next because everything is considered the center projectile now. So firing array actually has a huge increase on barrage runs. We can do a little bit of damage when it's in this mode. Let me make sure. Barrage does slow us down, right? While you're firing, lower shield cooldown and total recovery, but it doesn't actually reduce thrust. Okay. Then I honestly would just like to have some thrust increases for just general maneuverability benefits. Stabilization for whipping our stream around faster. But this is definitely a payload situation. Bigger projectiles is a big damage increase when you're shooting as many projectiles as we are, and the rate of fire down really doesn't end up mattering that much. We're just going to work around behind him before he can drop his little gravity well mine. And with projectile targeting and the projectile velocity we have right now, I mean, you can see just how much work this puts in. We do have lowered recovery, so while we're firing, Essence Sap works at a lower rate. So it is generally beneficial to like fire until an enemy is dead and then let go. We have some upgrades stockpiled. There's firing array. Like I said, that's going to be a huge increase. And then I will grab guidance. Only minus 5% rate of fire. The minus velocity does hurt, but for the most part, that just means we can't fire across the screen as much. But lowering the velocity so that we can have better targeting means that we don't have to be as crazy accurate. It'll do a lot of the work for us, as you kind of saw there. Honestly, like, because it lowers recovery while you're firing, maybe Essence Sap isn't as good as just pure rapid reconstruction, but I just feel like you gain so much HP by constantly firing with Barrage. Yeah, having Juggernaut for the speed down is what was throwing me off. I just realized that's why our thrust feels kind of weak, and so we should definitely consider grabbing a speed increase. More plating is not a bad idea, but definitely with as many projectiles as we're firing, getting to the point of having corrosion is a big damage increase, because we add so many corrosion stacks with as many projectiles as we're firing. Unfortunately, still not doing truckloads of damage, but it is nice consistent damage. This is where you start looking into self-damage resistance and solar hearts. Definitely going to grab improved thrusters here just so we can have some more maneuverability. I'm not necessarily going to worry about going blink and warp strike and all that stuff. I don't think that's necessarily what we want. But just having the little bit more thrust, I think, is going to be beneficial for us. Yeah, I can already tell the difference being able to dodge these projectiles from the baby jug. It definitely helps. One second here, we've got a little bit to dodge there. Not too bad though. That guy's going to die to Comet. Get some focus fire down on this guy. Actually didn't kill him. There we go. Taking a lot of unnecessary damage there. That's where plating would come in handy. This is now a good time to pick up Snipe. Also, blast radius with concentrated blast. I mean, self-damage resistance is a good idea. If we pick up Solar Heart now, I fear that we would just run into killing ourselves. So maybe we should start looking at going down the armor line. Actually, no, there's corrosion. Like I mentioned, corrosion is a big DPS increase because of the fact that we fire so many projectiles, so we add corrosion stacks incredibly quickly. And it helps a little bit with the AoE focus as well. Especially against like worms and stuff like that. Also, you know, just more projectile mods, things like twin strikes and double taps, things like that. Those end up adding more projectiles or more bursts, quote unquote, to the mix. So it definitely ends up being a large DPS increase as well, because we lowered our rate of fire quite a bit with some of the mods we took. And I think that it's still a net positive, but I certainly wouldn't mind picking up some of those. So this is going to get us working towards core shielding. I think that's going to be a good idea for starting to go some solar hearts. Let's try to whip around behind this guy. We need essence sap to heal us up a bit here. Yeah, now the corrosion stacks are really going to work on him. I apologize for the game lag. I'm not sure why it's doing that. The CPU usage is jumping up quite a bit for me. I guess there was just a lot going on the screen, a lot of projectile physics for it to process, and that's what happened. All right, so channeling, that's a good one. That gets us to core shielding. I'm going to just work on dodging the singularity. We did not dodge it at all. I did not have the thrust for that. So we need to get some essence sap ticking immediately. Get out of that laser. Fire, and this is also why corrosion is big, is burn damage works with essence sap. It probably shouldn't. I think that's part of what makes it so overpowered, is if you have corrosion and essence sap, you have an insane amount of recovery. We can kind of sort of see its health bar. No, not again. We've got to get some corrosion stacks back on him for essence sap. There we go. That helped a little bit. Just kill as quickly as possible and try to dodge everything. Deadly weight can help out a bit with that. So can kinetic boost. But I don't think those are what I'm looking for right now. I mean, snipe is a good one. I think double tap. No, snipe is going to be a bigger damage increase than double tap right now. But let's just start cranking on those corrosion stacks. And just make sure to dodge forehead. I say right before I completely fail to dodge. Let essence sap do what it does. Keep stacking those corrosion stacks. All right, we should really just like sit back here and fire for a bit, and then this is not going as well as a barrage run probably should. Like, we're doing okay, but okay is not great. Like, I don't know that we have a Seraph kill lined up at the moment. Again, Solar Heart adds a lot to a barrage run because you're firing so many projectiles that adding flat damage per hit ends up being a big deal. So we've had trouble dodging singularities, so I'm gonna just start over here. And just hope that we don't like get bumped in or anything. Give me a reroll. Give me a reroll. Here's core shielding. So core shielding helps out a lot with the stealth damage. We should also pick up some defiances as well, and maybe even some masochisms. Just that way, as we start to pick up solar hearts, we don't kill ourselves. Solar Heart also increases our burn damage as well, and since corrosion stacks are a good part of our DPS at this point, that ends up, again, being a good beneficial upgrade for us to have. We're at level 32, so we should figure to probably only get about, 8 to 10 more mods. All right, Champion Celestial. How well can we do here? Not very well so far. Okay. That was kind of testy. You reroll. Reroll. Mastery is damage, velocity, size, spread, blast radius, and rate of fire. All things that help us right now. And then Warpath actually does help out quite a lot. Because as we get kills, it makes our barrage better. You do want to kind of get at range against this guy, though. There we go. So, like, killing those guys, you can see, like, our damage increased quite a lot. All right, it's Seraph time. Do we have a Seraph capable build? I'm honestly not sure. We just tanked a lance to the face. We can't be tanking lances. And we, in that first phase, only did about a quarter of its HP. Yeah, I don't see this being a Seraph kill. I think this is probably where we're gonna die. You know, try to take out the ads as much as we can, but... I've gotten better at fighting Seraph, but I say right as I crash into him, just dodge the lance. Let go of barrage and just dodge the lance. Got some good corrosion stacks on him. We got him down to maybe about a third HP. We do have terminate. Oh, that was a bad crash. All right, just sit here and damage him. He's gonna shoot his lance. We dodged that. We didn't dodge that lance. If we tank one more lance, we're dead. Essence sap, please. Get corrosion stacks ticking. We crashed into him. Kill the ads. We don't need much more damage to get to terminate. Just go for it. Just go for it. We can get him. That was a very testy fight. We've got to get some more DPS if we're going to make it to 1 million. Like, yeah, we beat the first Seraph. That's fine. But I don't see us going a lot farther than that, honestly. We're gonna... The commentary on this one's gonna be a little bit rougher. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Just because I'm gonna have to focus in so much harder. Lowered velocity, rate of fire, and size. I just don't think we can afford that. I am going to go into blast radius and grab concentrated blast as well as rupture. I think that's going to be a nice benefit to our AoE wave clear capabilities. Make sure you dodge the Spitfire's attack, please. Oh wow, we took some unnecessary damage there, to say the least. I want to pick up some solar hearts. We're gonna really want that flat damage on hit. His laser is coming out quick. Concentrated blast, again, I think concentrated blast will add to our DPS as well. Since we're doing so many projectiles, that's a lot of individual little micro blasts. But it added a lot of additional damage to each of those little microblasts. Again, I just don't think we have the projectile velocity for Warp Strike to really benefit us that much. I'm not going to bother. Gonna sit here and hone in for a second. Again, I'm not going to go the siege weaponry route, even though siege weaponry can take barrage to the next level. Like, if I had Firefly Body, I would consider it, but it's going to take us a lot more to build up the self-damage resistance just to make Solar Heart work. Oh, goodness. Build up some corrosion stacks. We're in a good spot. We can dodge this one pretty easily. Then we've got to move. How about you go right about there? All right, good kill. Still not as fast as I would like a Jug kill to be, though. Yeah, the game is definitely having some lag issues when I throw that many projectiles on the screen. So again, like Twin Strikes and Burst Fire, or Double Tap, sorry, are both good mods to have because they just add more to your barrage. All right, double Celestials across the sky. Not something I particularly wanted to deal with. But we got there without too much trouble. Probably just let the splinter projectiles kill the ads there. Oh. Efficiency I don't think is great, so we should probably just ignore that line entirely. Calibrate isn't going to be that beneficial for us. Antimatter rounds is so spicy, but also such a huge DPS increase. You know, at this point, scared money doesn't make money. I'm gonna take antimatter rounds, even though I'm completely aware of how much this could completely yeet our run. We don't seem to be taking that much self-damage from it. And if we can pick up some defiances, some masochisms, we may end up being in a good spot. Essence Sap is keeping us alive. We want to fire our barrages in, you know, a little bit more of a burst style, so that we do a bunch of damage and then let Essence Sap put in work. Here, I will definitely let that just do what it does. I do apologize for the lag on that. You know, again, it's kind of surprising to me. I haven't had that issue before. I may have like accidentally changed a recording setting or something that is using up more CPU. I don't think I did, but it's entirely possible that I did and completely missed it. So I want self-damage resistance first and foremost right now. I say as I decide to choose Rupture instead. Don't judge me. I can feel you judging me right now. Like, hey, you need some self-damage resistance, otherwise you're just gonna die and the extra damage from Rupture isn't gonna matter. And you're right, but also don't judge me. I like glass cannon builds, so sue me. It's just my favorite way to play Nova Drift. Get some corrosion stacking and then get out of there. I mean, Essence Sap is doing what it needs to do. Like, in a full burst like that, we can keep ourselves alive with Essence Sap, even through the self-damage from Antimatter. Corrosion plus Rupture, putting in some good work for us there. See, now with the added size and velocity, it is almost a consideration to grab Warp Strike, but I think at this point it's a little too late for that. Solar Heart, now we're getting into a toasty area where it's going to start getting really spicy. We're going to have to be very careful with the self-damage. Make sure we dodge that singularity. And just hang out here, kill anything that comes into view. Really try not to fire too much. Like, let's be honest here. But this guy, I mean, now you're seeing what DPS we can get by having the flat damage on hit. We do have to actually hit enemies, though, for our regeneration to work, though. So something to keep in mind is, if you're bad, which I am, this build maybe isn't as good because it requires you to actually hit enemies. And sometimes I can be bad at that part. But that was a much quicker baby jug kill than usual. I do think Force Armor is something to consider. The damage resistance is nice, but I'm really going to be out here hunting for some self-damage resistance. Not going to take another Solar Heart right now. You can't make me. Dang it, dude. All right, you know what? Polar Inversion, because we do have... Okay, we gotta kill the Celestials first. This is very spiced. Oh god, that was so spicy. Come on, Essence Sap, do your job. We can heal through it. We can heal through it all. Yeah, I don't see this being a million+ run. It's a fun one. It's a very fun one, but I don't see us topping 1 million on this one. I just think it's... We've got a little bit too little going for us at the moment. It could get there, but we're not healing back up to full, and that's a scary proposition. Now, Masochism, Adrenal Module, those would add a lot of DPS. Actually, I think we already have Adrenal Module. Add some Corrosion stacks. Let that do some work for us. We're probably dead to Cluster Mines, though, is the thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know that I can dodge these effectively enough to get Essence Sap ticking back up for us. Maybe I can, though. Maybe I've been doubting my abilities and I'm actually a Nova Drift god. Hello, Celestial. I've been waiting for you. No. I mean, the comedic timing to like pull through what looked to be a hopeless situation where the cluster mines were just going to end me sitting at a sliver of HP and then die to a single champion Celestial we should have dealt with. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I just don't think we had exactly what we needed. I'm not sure how to build a barrage build effectively enough, as it turns out. I don't think going for a pure essence sap build as our only form of survivability was the best idea, especially going with rapid recon. It would have been better for us to have a shield. I'm going to be honest with you. Having a shield, I think we would have gone farther. But for now, we'll throw an A10 build up here. That's 5th place. Currently the lowest of the ones that have gone up on YouTube. I don't remember if the thermite build made it up on YouTube or not. I don't think so. So unfortunately, not the greatest run in the world, but it gives you another viewpoint of some of the great builds that you can have in Nova Drift. I always love recording it. I'm excited to record some more next weekend. This is, or I guess tomorrow / the day after tomorrow from when you're watching this. Yeah, I gotta let the adrenaline cool down so I can do an outro here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your feedback, likes, dislikes, comments at Runt9 Plays on Twitter, community Discord. Check out all those links in the description from my Linktree, linktree.com or linktree.ee/Runt9 Plays. I'll just call it Linktree/Runt9 Plays. Twitch.tv/Runt9 Plays. I stream all the time. Nova Drift is a common staple. Yeah, do all that stuff. Subscribe, like, etc., etc. I'm tired, dude. I'll see you in the next episode. Until the next one, I'm Runt9, and I will see you later.